It's National Pickleball Day, and I'm sure you've noted it's one of the biggest breakout sports of the decade, still popular as ever, but of course, with more people playing, means more injuries. So Dr. Colin Haines with the Virginia Spine Institute is joining us on Fox 5 Weekend Live to discuss how you can play and enjoy while also protecting yourself. Hello, Dr. Haines.
Nice to see you.
Yes, nice to see you as well. So first of all, do you play pickleball, Dr. Haines?
You know, I got my racket right here.
Oh!
I'm ready for it. So it's pickleball day. I got to be playing.
Okay, period. What do you think it is as an avid enthusiast yourself? What is it about pickleball that people enjoy so much, and what do you think has made it just so popular?
You know, the name's kind of fun and cute.
True.
I think that instinctively brings people in. I'll tell you, it has this sort of mentality where we think that pickleball, because of the cute name, because sometimes people who are, middle-aged and hadn't been working out their whole lives, sometimes they're able to play, and we think it's super easy to play. I can tell you myself, so I grew up playing tennis, and the first time I played pickleball, I didn't warm up, I didn't stretch, I played for like 3 hours, and the next day I could barely walk. I was so sore. Yeah, it's a wonderful sport. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of real exercise with it, but you got to treat it like an actual sport.
Yeah, it's deceptive in that way, like you said with the name, and I guess just the idea of it. I feel like it's been marketed as this like easier, more approachable sport, but you're right, it really can be quite intensive. What kinds of injuries do you tend to see from pickleball?
So I'm a spine surgeon, so most of the injuries, just the biased people I see, typically have spine injuries.
Okay.
With respect to the back, the most common one, and I got my trusty spine model here. So here's the spine, here's the front, and here's the back. These spaces in between are the discs. They're kind of like the shock absorbers, or almost you can think of them like tires on a car. Well, what oftentimes happens is when we bend forward too much, we actually squish those discs. I had this aha moment with my dad. So my dad's relatively tall. He's 6'6", and he grew up playing tennis as well. We were playing pickleball, and the ball doesn't bounce very high. So a lot of times when you're first learning about the bounce of the ball, you have to pick it up a lot. Well, he was having to bend over and hunch a lot and twist to pick it up. In tennis, you got the long racket, you can lift it off your foot. In pickleball, you really have to bend down and pick it up. A lot of the injuries I see really are from that motion. People hunching forward, rounding their backs, twisting when they're rounding. Puts a little more force to the disc, and that's sometimes the reason people get injured.
Okay. Is there a way, I mean, it kind of seems like the nature of the sport, but is there a way to sort of prevent that or make sure you're not putting so much strain on yourself as you're playing?
I think it all comes in the preparation. Treat it like a real sport. Don't do what I did. Go out and play for 3 hours and expect that I'm not going to be sore or potentially risk injury. I think of I call it the 5-5 rule. And I think of this, whether it's pickleball, whether it's basketball, whether it's running a marathon, at least warm up 10 minutes. 5 of it, just get the blood flowing, do light cardio. It can be very simple. Walking. It can be high knees, just something to get the blood flowing. And then also 5 minutes of gentle stretching. The ones that I like to do very specifically, cat-cows, when you hunch forward and then lean back just for a little bit of muscular stretching. I like twisting to the side, getting the back muscles and the arms loosened up like this. And then also a big thing I think about a lot of times the reason people overdo their back is because their hamstrings and their hips are tight. Get the hips and hamstrings loosened up so the back doesn't have to work so hard to overcompensate.
Got you. I know I'm a perpetrator of this. I feel like stretching, even though it's important, it's just the first thing to go out the window when you are, getting active, whether it's beforehand or after. So I guess stress for us just how important it is and the kind of difference it can make when you do make it a regular part of your routine.
It's big time. So if you think about it, the muscles are essentially the armor and the protection for the spine. So if the muscles aren't warmed up, if the muscles have the blood flowing and are really working hard, your back has to overwork to compensate. So when the armor is weaker, more likely to get an injury. That's exactly what not warming up does. You're not getting the blood flowing. You're not getting those soft tissue dynamic stabilizers to protect the back. And that's why oftentimes people, the weekend warriors who get up, just hop on the court and start playing, are more prone to an injury.
And I mean, the thing about pickleball too is it really does attract people of all ages. So when you have, I imagine, older people who are playing, I can only imagine just how much more severe all of this can be if you're not preparing and protecting yourself properly.
The discs in the back are kind of like tires on a car, like I said. And I tend to think of, if you hit too many potholes, you're more prone to have a flat tire. But over the years, as that tread gets thinner, you're more prone to, a blowout. That's how I think about aging as well. The reality is all of us, when we're blessed to age and use our bodies, we know that there's progressive deterioration and degeneration in the backs. So as we age, the more wear and tear our discs take, the more prone to potential injury. So I think you're absolutely right. It highlights the fact that, we're not, as much as we sometimes want to be, we're not teenage bodies anymore. We got to really take our bodies seriously.
Absolutely. Anything else that people should be mindful of as they're playing, or any other tips in terms of protecting yourself?
The equipment is big time. So I can speak to a little bit of my errors, so hopefully you guys don't make the same. I was using running shoes the first time I was playing pickleball. And the running shoes, it's designed very differently. It's very much forward and backwards, right? Whereas pickleball, there definitely is forward and backwards, but it's a lot of lateral side to side. So if you look at the shoe wear for both pickleball and tennis, the front aspect of the sole and the sides is much more supportive. So I was using running shoes. Not only did they have not good support, so I was more prone to an ankle sprain, but I actually tore the shoes in the front because there's too much lateral motion. They're not designed for that. So proper shoe wear is big time.
Oh, wow.
I also think that proper racket use is big time. So, we see a lot of also other injuries, shoulders, tennis elbow, wrist injuries. The rackets I got one here, it's wooden, it's heavier. The hand grip is critically important. So one of the things we think about, I'll put my hand up here so you can see, but we basically want the racket grip to be approximately 1 finger's width between your thumb and your other fingers. If it's too over gripped, sometimes you can actually tweak your forearm. And same thing, if it's too small, you can actually injure your forearm a little bit. So equipment use is also paramount.
Okay, so you said you grew up playing tennis, but now you love pickleball. Is there one that you love more than the other, or how do you compare the two for yourself?
You're going to make me out myself on pickleball day, huh?
Yes, yes.
I will say, my bias is a little bit more towards tennis. It's just how I grew up. But pickleball is a ton of fun. I think in a lot of ways, socially, I prefer pickleball because it's much easier to pick up a racket and just start playing. Tennis is a wonderful sport. It's amazing exercise, but it's sometimes harder to find ideal partners. I feel like pickleball, you can kind of go and play with most people. It's a lower barrier to entry to play, but certainly the top end is very challenging. So it's easier to get to that playable level. So I think from an overall social perspective, pickleball probably wins the battle.
Okay, love that. Love that on this National Pickleball Day. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Haines, and for all of these sort of helpful tips. This has been really great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And, one thing to keep an eye on, we're always putting out great information for prevention, for treatment. And check out Instagram, Dr. Colin Haines' website, BSI Spine. One of the things we always want to do is try to prevent injuries, but diagnosing is critical too. If something doesn't feel right, get it checked out. The treatments like stem cells, minimally invasive procedures, even just really ideal therapy can get you back on the court faster than ever before.
Okay, perfect. Noted. Thank you so much, Dr. Haines, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Happy Pickleball Day.
All right, you too.